Welcome to our Live on Purpose February 2026. Every Wednesday of the first of the month, we like to gather to give a short inspirational talk, noon every first Wednesday of the month. Our next one is March 4th at noon Eastern. We're glad that you're able to watch this either live stream or on demand on the YouTube channel at James M. Rink. I am James M. Rink. I am your purpose coach, and I wanted to just have a short talk together to help inspire you to live your purpose in a bigger way starting today. So here's a simple truth. I believe your life has a purpose. What do you believe? And if you believe your life has a purpose, how do you define it? Once you can define your purpose, you can begin to monetize your purpose. This is how you take your purpose to the marketplace in your work to build businesses, nonprofits, and in your family, with your friends, to build friendships and family relationships, all designed to empower your life's purpose. So I want to welcome you, whether you're a CEO with a business, you're a business leader at work trying to have a purposeful career, or you've recently retired and you want a retirement on purpose, or you're a college student that's wanting to build a life and a career on purpose. That's what Purpose of You does. From college students to retirees, it's a community of like minded people all living their purpose for the greater good of humanity. And let's face it, humanity needs some good work around us. We need to be serving the greater good. So today we're going to use a few examples of what is Purpose of You. I wrote Purpose of You beginning in the late 1990s to help myself. I immediately began to help other college students, other business leaders, other business owners, entrepreneurs to basically figure out, what does purpose mean to you and how do you monetize it? So I want to take some of my experiences to help empower you today. My question is very simple. Do you believe your life has a purpose? The majority of people do. How do you define it? That's the big question. How do you define your life's purpose? Like a mission statement for a business or a nonprofit. What goes into a purpose statement to make it impactful, especially in today's chaotic world? That's what we want to help you with today. If you had to write a purpose statement, what would you say? I want to help empower you to think through that strategically. It's not philosophy, it's not just some motivational message. It's a strategy that you can live in your personal life as well as your business life. It's a purpose lifestyle. Now, because we do so much work in business, we do consider this entrepreneurship. And because it came from my years of data collection and studying visionary business leaders, it is always under the mindset of purpose entrepreneurship. Now, you may work at a full time job, but this is your opportunity to be an intrapreneur, an entrepreneur within your company, taking your purpose to your company. To business owners and CEOs, you empowering your own life's purpose in your employees brings their purpose to help build the company's mission. If you're a college student thinking about a life and a career as a solopreneur to work and build new businesses or just businesses for yourself, as a freelancer or coach, living your purpose as a solopreneur brings new business opportunities, even if you're a realtor or a hairstylist, especially if you work in the franchise business. Bringing your purpose entrepreneurship to build new opportunities and empower the people you want to affect for the greater good brings your dreams to reality. So, again, this is a personal purpose lifestyle and strategy for work and your personal life. This is a working session. Purpose entrepreneurship was strategies that John Nordstrom used to build Nordstrom, Walt and Roy Disney used to build Disney, Steve Jobs used to build Apple. These are legacy brands, legacy companies, but it's still rooted in purpose entrepreneurship. That's what Purpose of You is. Purpose entrepreneurship to help you define your purpose and build a business and a life for it. So, how did I come up with Purpose of You? Let me tell you a story. I started working for myself in my 20s. I Always loved entrepreneurship. When I was in high school, I started a construction business with my buddy Ronnie. We had a great mentor who gave us a business when we were in high school and he was moving off to college. That was my first entree to working for myself, and I loved it. I loved it because it gave me an opportunity to have a direct result of my customers and how they feel and felt to the work that I was doing for them, mostly in home construction type projects and businesses, but I also loved the success that you get making money on your own terms, being self-reliant as an entrepreneur. When I got into college, I also had a great mentor who was a television producer who also was an entrepreneur building his own company as he was also working his staff job helping me to become a television expert at the local studio. When I got into my 20s, I decided that I wanted to start my own company, and I was able to build it in relationships. However, I was living in San Diego, California, America's finest city, and I also realized I was isolated and I had become a big fish in a small pond in San Diego, working mostly as a television producer for nonprofits. My business projects were in the 10,000s, and I wanted to get to the multi-million dollar projects that I was seeing on broadcast television as a television producer. I did a couple things. One, I went back to college at UCLA and I worked with a great mentor there, Vance Van Patten, who at the time was the senior vice president of legal at Paramount Studios, who went on to become the head of the Producers Guild of America. Vance was great at helping me understand what producers do functionally between all the unions in the business. This is the nuts and bolts of work. But he also cautioned me, saying, Jim, you got to get out of San Diego. You got to be in a community where entertainment deals are being done, which really meant down to New York, Los Angeles, or I saw a new market in Nashville. And I went back to Vance and I even pitched it to him. I said, I'm thinking about relocating from San Diego to Nashville because Nashville is exploding in entertainment. This was in the 90s. This is when Garth Brooks started to really explode in the country music space. He was selling more records than Michael Jackson and Madonna combined at the time. Metallica was frustrated with him because he kept getting number one positions. And I was traveling from San Diego to Nashville to produce stories in country music. And I wanted a bigger piece of the pie. So I relocated to Nashville. And once I got to Nashville, a business friend gave me a book that helped transform my businesses to go from projects that were in the tens of thousands into the multi millions. This business book is called Built to Last. It is a great business book for any CEO, any business leader, any solopreneur. But I caution you, it's an MBA business textbook. It's massive data collection that basically focuses on 17 visionary business leaders and their competitors. And what did these 17 business leaders do that their competitors didn't do? And they profile businesses like Disney, Ford, Nordstrom, Walmart, visionary businesses that went through multiple CEOs, which means they had to have a culture of their leadership and why the company existed and what their expertise was in the marketplace so that they were built to last. This book inspired and helped champion today's technology companies, whether it's Apple or Microsoft, as well as a lot of the AI businesses, because in these profile, they were really able to look at the businesses of these visionary leaders and decide what did they do. Here were the big key takeaways. Out of all of these 17 business leaders, they all wrote purpose statements. They all wrote values declarations that would protect the purpose, and then they had big goals to go live the company's purpose. The key takeaway after reading this book in the 90s was that these visionary businesses were 6 times more profitable than their competition. Therefore, it's smarter to pursue purpose versus the pursuit of just profits. Transformational. To me, I came out of that and I thought, okay, I want to write a purpose statement for my life and my business. And I started researching and couldn't find a great, simple book, resource, class, whatever, to help me figure out how do I write a purpose statement? What goes into a purpose statement? Now, my background as a writer, so I really focused on the writing aspect of it. So, since I could not find a book to help me, I thought, well, let me try to reverse engineer some of the purpose statements that were outlined in Built to Last. So, what I did was I lined up all of the purpose statements, all 17, and I began to deconstruct the sentence structures of it like you did in second grade. Where's the noun? Where's the verb? Where's the adjective? And I started deconstructing the sentence structure and I discovered a pattern. These gentlemen all wrote founding statements, but did not know what they were all doing in unison because they were doing it independently. But what I learned was they were all using words of feelings, put to actions to connect to people. Feelings, action, people equal purpose. That is the framework, the formula of purpose of you. It's the formula that I use to write my purpose statement, and it will help empower you to write yours. What are the core feelings that you love to feel? Because those same feelings are the feelings you love to give others. What are the actions that you love to do just organically? And who are the people that you want to influence for a greater good? Walt and Roy Disney wrote the simplest purpose statement for Disney. Walt, when he was 22 years old, wrote that the purpose of Disney is to make people happy. Make is the action, people are who they want to influence, happy is the feeling. Three simple words, and it's trillions upon trillions of dollars of revenue over generations for his lifetime as well as his legacy for Walt and Roy Disney to make people happy. These same strategies are going to work for you, and that is basically the framework formula for purpose of you. And we do this in 8 easy steps to help you just kind of walk through it. So we take out the mystery, we take out all of the complexity or the wrangling, and we try to simplify it. Again, it's a strategy. First step is identifying the core feelings you love to feel. Understanding that the feelings you love to feel are the same feelings you love to give others. This is a simple life lesson. Let's, for example, if you love sports and you're a parent, do you love to share that sport and the feeling you get from that team with your child? Most of us all do. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and or a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I will always inspire my son to, hey, let's watch the Steelers play. Let's watch the Pirates play. Let's watch the Pittsburgh Penguins play. It's because of the feeling that I got from that team that I want to share with my child. You as a CEO do the exact same thing through all of your personal passions, whether it's a team you play or if you enjoy hunting, golf, going to the beach, or your favorite burger place or pizza. It's all the same thing. The feelings that we get from those moments, we want to share with our loved ones. So that drives us down to a core question that I have for you. This is the deepest dive of purpose of you, but it's so simple. And it's a lesson that I learned from one of my mentors, Mr. Rogers. If you are a college student and don't know who Mr. Rogers is, just Google him after this and understand the life lessons that Mr. Rogers taught many of us when we were in our preschool years. Now, again, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Mr. Rogers did his television show from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Mr. Rogers came to my preschool when I was 4 or 5 years old, and he would bring his little puppets and do little life lessons. And then I'd get to see them on TV a month later. That I grew up essentially in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It was a very, very powerful time. However, when Mr. Rogers was an adult or was working with adults, he would use this very, very simple question, and I'm going to pose it to you. And we're going to take a short little pause in this for you to think through it, and then we're going to work through it. All of you that's watching this video has a measure of success in your life. You're a leader in your industry, to your family, to the people in the world around you. You care about wanting to serve the greater good, or you wouldn't be watching this talk today. Who are the people who've loved you to allow you to be the success that you are today? All of us can think through people like that. It could be your parents, a mother, a father, a grandparent, a grandfather, a grandmother. That could have been a coach, a teacher, a mentor, somebody who was a spiritual leader in your life, and they helped empower you to be the person you are today. That was love. If you take back and do a deeper dive into it, and you look at those individuals and you think through the memories that stand out the most, that would quantify your understanding of love from them, you have memories of time, whether it was going for a sports team or whether it was taking you a special interest in you to work through a task in sports or in education or whatever your passion is. How did those moments make you feel? Was it love? Was it joy? Was it peace? Was it patience? Was it kindness? Was it confidence, hope, freedom? If you can identify the core 3 to 6 feelings in those, we can say those are the core feelings, especially if you got it from a greater good influencer who loved you like a teacher and a parent. Then you know, okay, that's really how you're wired as an individual. And then identifying those same feelings you want to go give to others, that is centric to purpose. Because we know from studying businesses' purpose, it all connects feelings put to actions to connect to people. If you've answered those simple questions, you're beginning to identify the feelings you love to feel. The feelings you love to feel are the same feelings you love to give to others. And coincidentally, that creates a flywheel of purpose because you're giving feelings and that makes you feel good. You give feelings and it makes you feel good. It's just how you're naturally wired. It's like finding gold in the backyard once you understand it. My purpose is to communicate hope, to help people, to make people happy. The feelings I love to feel are hope, help, and happiness. I find great delight and ease in trying to communicate that to you today and to anybody else that will listen. I want to communicate hope, help people, help make people happy. Identify the core feelings that you love to feel so that you can go give those to others. And then we'll begin to monetize those actions to help empower your life and monetize your purpose. The next section is actions. What are the things that you love to do? As a kid, what were the things that you just love to do for play? And as an adult, and even as a teenager, what are the things that you love to do? It's of no coincidence. I love to communicate. I love to make things. Those are the core actions of my life. As a kid, I grew up fantasizing being a DJ and building radios, all communication. When I was in high school and MTV came out, man, I wanted to be in television. That was my gateway to communication, to media. Communication is something that I just love to do and then make things, make television shows and podcasts and live streams and talks to help businesses and people. I love it because it helps me to communicate hope, help people, to make people happy. What are the things that you love to do? And once you connect feeling words with action words, it makes it connect to people, which is step number 3 of the Purpose of You program. Who do you want to serve for your lifetime and your legacy? Legacy is important, whether you are a CEO like Walt Disney and his purpose of Disney would live for generations upon generations, but even if you're a parent, the influence that you do by serving bringing your purpose to your children will help build your grandchildren and your children's grandchildren's children. The same thing happened to me. My father was my greater good influencer. It was my father and his faith and that God that helped empower me to give me hope, help, and happiness when I was at the hardest parts of my life when I was a teenager. And it all comes down to a moment in time at the death of my older brother. That is how purpose comes to life. You have the exact same people in your life that you want to influence for the greater good. Who are they? They could be big and broad like people, or it could be very specific to children or people with special needs. I work with a lot of people that is directly connected to their purpose, whether they are an ABA therapist or a speech therapist, helping individuals with special needs, because I have a special needs child who has autism and Down syndrome. I love those individuals because they help make my son's life better, and they actually make me a better father. Who are the people that you want to influence for a greater good? Now, step number four of purpose of you is very, very strategic. It's building a short purpose statement for your life using all of the data that we've just collected in your feelings, your actions, and your people. And you can formulate simple declarative sentences using that formula into a sentence, a first draft of your purpose statement. I had a college professor who said that if you have 4 hours to write something, use the first 3 hours to think about what you want to write and research of what you want to write, so that you just use the last hour just to formulate words and edit everything together. That's the exact same thing that we've done in this, identifying the core feelings, actions, and the people that you want to influence so that you can write a short declarative sentence. This is your purpose, like mine, to communicate hope, to help people, to make people happy. That becomes your first draft of your purpose statement. The reason why we say first draft is because we want to give it an opportunity to test drive it so that we can perfect it. In anything that's writing, as a professional writer in trade, I realize my first draft is never the best. It takes a little wordsmithing to get it dialed in to be perfect. So the best way that you can test it is step number five, through our intentional acts of purpose. And what we do in this step is, it's just like if you love to play golf, or you love to play tennis, or you love to play baseball. All of those sports revolve around hitting a ball with an instrument. And both of those have sweet spots. And it's really trying to identify what is your sweet spot. If you're a golfer, you can swing a golf club, even if you're a beginner, at 90 miles an hour. The sweet spot on a golf club head is the sharp end of a pin. The golf ball, sharp end of a pin. Trying to line up two sharp end of pins going 90 miles an hour takes practice. That's why we have driving ranges. It gives you the opportunity to just do golf training. It's the same thing with your intentional acts of purpose. Once you can begin to taking your purpose out, you understand, oh, this is how it makes me feel. This feels good. This is what works. This is how I could do it better. Some of the very, very simple things that I was able to do, back in the 90s, when I was able to identify my purpose, is I quickly took it to my work, my family, and my friends. So let's say there was a party that I didn't really like going to, but it was one of those things I was obligated to go to. Instead of it just kind of passing the time or being bored by it, I took my purpose to it. I basically was very intentional to live my purpose. I was able to say, you know what, I'll probably run into this executive or this friend or this person. And I know, let's say my friend Sarah also has a sister who's also struggling with cancer, and I care about her and that. So I'm going to intentionally spend time at a cocktail party with my friend Sarah, who I know professionally, just to check in on how her sister's doing in her recovery. In that moment in time, I'm communicating hope to her. I'm helping her. I'm making her happy. Now, as a client, also to me, she looks at me completely different in a business space because she knows that I care, I have empathy, I'm there to communicate hope, to help people, to make people happy. That's how business and sales can become transformational. That's how you get the opportunity to go from being 6 times more profitable, like all the businesses, and built to last than the competition. You're there to serve a greater good. You're pursuing purpose versus the pursuit of just profits. And it all begins with the intentional acts of purpose and modifying and understanding and documenting, how did those moments make you feel. I remember when I left that one cocktail party, encouraging my friend Sarah about her sister struggling with cancer. It was invigorating. I felt like, oh, well, this feels great. Now there's a reason to go to this boring cocktail party. And it really comes down to a simple lesson that I learned from Abraham Lincoln. When we do good, we feel good. That creates the flywheel of purpose and good feelings to others so that we end up feeling good and we just begin living a lifestyle of that. It's transformational. The next step, step number 6, is so important. It is our values. Any company, any business always has purpose and values, mission and values. Values are the guardrails, they protect it. In purpose of you, we say your purpose is like a vital organ, like your heart or your lungs, and you have a rib cage and sternum to protect it. That's what your values do. It basically becomes boundaries of protection. My core values are honesty, accountability, integrity, and fairness. Anybody that trespasses any one of those, I know I got an issue I got to deal with. I got to confront. If you're not being fair, if you're not being honest, if you're not being held accountable, these are all core values from me. Separate you from everybody else you know so that you can live your purpose in a full, strategic way. We get to these values very simply in purpose of you. If you're in a dating relationship, what's the fastest way to breaking up? If you hired somebody, what's the fastest way to getting them fired? For me, honesty, be dishonest. Accountability, don't do what you said. Integrity, don't have integrity, we're not going to be able to work together or date. And fairness, it just builds everything for a my core values as guardrails to help protect purpose. Yours are the same way. You typically get those same values from the same people who've loved you to allow you to be who you are today. They are the ones that help shape and mold your purpose and your values. And those are the things that you can live in a better way, just tapping into those great, great opportunities from the people that loved you to allow you to be who you are. So, step number 7 is very strategic. It's where you're really putting together all this into a personal purpose plan for your life that can get transferred into businesses and CEOs for and business owners for the business that you have. We break this down very simply. Putting together a personal purpose plan revolves identifying your missions, your goals, and then pruning. And we're going to walk through each of these real simply. Missions in purpose of you are seasonal. If you're a college student, that's a season of time. If you take a job, you know that's going to be a season of time. You become a parent, that is a season of time from the time they're born to the time they turn into an adult. Then you may have um, that season kind of end because those children are up and growing, and then a couple years later they might have some grandchildren for you. That's a new mission. Missions are seasonal and always honor purpose. Purpose is for a lifetime and a legacy. Identifying the missions of your life are the seasonal. Right now in my life, I have purpose of you. It's a business that's part of my personal purpose and it has a specific purpose. I'm also a father. I'm also very involved with disability rights and nonprofits for disabilities, as well as my faith groups that I'm involved with. These are all the missions of our life. They are the ones that take up our time and our money and our attention, all to help honor and serve our purpose in life. We also can make goals for each of these. Now, in Built to Last, that was one of the strategic things: mission, values, goals, big, audacious goals. And Built to Last, I think they call them big, hairy, audacious goals. It was Henry Ford's dream to want to do a big, audacious goal of being able to mass produce automobiles, or Boeing to build the 747, or Disney had multiple big, audacious goals throughout the life of Walt and Roy Disney, whether it was going from animated shorts to full length animation to theme parks. These were all massive goals that sometimes could nearly bankrupt the company, but they were big goals to be able to live the company's purpose in a big, bold way. Your goals are very specific. Now, here's something very strategic as a business leader or business owner, or if you're a solopreneur. I run my business on EOS. Gino Wickman's Traction. All of those books and resources of EOS are very centric to purpose and values, as well as goals. All of these purpose strategies can directly connect any of your entrepreneurial systems programs to that can amplify all of that good work. It just takes a deeper dive in the mission, values, and goals, and then operationalizes it within those other structures, or helping to amplify, create new structures for your companies. It's the exact same thing Walt and Roy Disney did, John Nordstrom did, and Henry Ford did. All of these resources are readily available to you, especially if you, once you tap into some of the services that we offer at purposeofyou.com. You can find all of that. So, the last step of your personal purpose plan is to look at what needs to get pruned away. And we always look at pruning as like you would an apple tree or a fruit tree. The goal is to produce quality of fruit versus quantity of fruit. In order to do that, you got to cut away things that are taking up time and money from your resources to produce quality and quantity. It could be a relationship that you need to modify, saying, you know what, I don't need to be hanging out with this person once a week. I need to be hanging out with this person or this activity every other month. Or it could be, I need to be really monitoring how much time I spend on social media. Whatever those time sucks in your life are, you want to monitor them away so that you can focus all your resources of your time, your energy, and your effort in money to serve your purpose in a bigger way. You do that through pruning away and modifying it. The last step of purpose of you is basically collecting all of that and then finalizing your final purpose statement, your final values. You've already built a personal purpose plan, and then it's your commitment to yourself that you're going to revisit your personal purpose plan every month, quarter, year, whenever you do your scheduling and planning. I like to do mine every quarter, every 3 months, 90 days. I'm looking at my missions to basically make sure that I'm staying on top of where my direction is for my purpose. Now, the great thing, even with EOS, is they do the exact same thing. What are my 90-day goals? That's the way I'm living my goals on a daily basis. I'm living my purpose on a daily basis to get me to my dream. Your purpose is your true north to it. So, in our time together, we want to really give a purpose CEO strategy. It all starts with you as an individual leader that can then impact your business and begin to take your purpose from just a purpose statement to operational, where that it's affecting your team as well as your customers. This is the big shift that a lot of our clients at Purpose of You are going through. Businesses are losing millions of dollars through the disengagement world that we're living in, mostly with our employees. Quietly quitting, people leaving jobs, people hard to check in. A lot of those aren't against your company, though you're feeling the pain point of the company. Gallup says that in America, that's a $1 trillion pain point that American businesses are dealing with, 9 trillion globally. For your own company, for every 100 employees you have, that's easily $1.5 million due to the disengagement expenses. We have a great disengagement calculator that we put together as a spreadsheet for CEOs to help identify your personal pain point for your business. You can go to purposeofyou.com and schedule a session with me, and I'll help walk you through it and then create a plan to where you can help fix that pain point for a fraction of the money you're already losing so that you have return on investment. These societal changes and disengagement that we're going through is not uncommon. Walt Disney and Roy Disney faced it in the Great Depression, as well as John Nordstrom and Ford did as well. It's basically the era of time that we're living in. Neil Howe is a great writer that talks about the fourth turning, a season of disruption, and basically has documented that our season of disruption started in 2008 when we had real estate collapse, and we won't get out of it until the 2030s. 2033 is the target. So we've got many years of this chaos disruption that we're living in, that's societal chaos and noise, whether it's internally in America or globally. We've got wars coming at us left and right, and we're fighting for freedom. That's not uncommon because America was founded in freedom, And we created a new world order in the last fourth turning. The last fourth turning happened at the Great Depression and didn't end until the end of World War II. The end of World War II set up a new world order of freedom for America and its allies that created a global world of a massive spring, summer, and fall seasons. Now we're in a winter season, a fourth turning again. Your purpose helps you to navigate through that dysfunction, and it helps you to empower your employees to do the exact same thing. The strategy of purpose of you to becoming really a purpose CEO is identifying your purpose, the company's purpose, and then helping all of your employees figure out their purpose so that it aligns with the company's mission and purpose. Walt Disney was brilliant at doing this during the Great Depression. He knew that the company's purpose was to make people happy. He also realized that his employees were not happy. They had lost a lot of their wealth, their homes, their livelihood, but they still had jobs. So Walt created a safe place at Disney where people could come work, and it was a safe place with a mindset that I'm going to try to make you happy in a very unhappy season so that we can make our customers happy too. He quickly was able to get with his brother Roy, and they were able to take the profits they were making from short animated films of Mickey Mouse that were 5 to 7 minutes in length and reinvest in a first ever new project, new genre film of a full length animated film. That was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which made $8 million in 1938. In the middle of the Great Depression, they had the biggest success that launched their business in a whole new stratosphere of just making people happy during the Depression. Now, imagine the power of that for your business. I'm in the hope business, I'm in the help business. That's a great time for me to be in business, giving hope and help and happiness to others during a chaotic season. You have the same power with your purpose too. You have the power to be able to say your purpose is all about freedom or love or joy or happiness or whatever those core feelings are. You're giving those feelings to your customers, helps empower them and helps become a value to them. That's your differential quality, especially in the world of AI that we're living in. AI lacks feelings. That's your differential quality as a human being. It's like gold in the backyard that can bring purpose to life to build new revenue opportunities, new businesses that can create hope and help for the greater good of humanity, just like Walt Disney did, just like Steve Jobs has done and continues to do through his company, Herb Keller at Southwest, Microsoft, and Bill Gates. It's all the same principles that will work for you in your life, in your career today. It helps you to rise above the noise. Purpose helps you to define your life in a greater way so that you can build better businesses and align yourself with other like minded people. So, this past week, the Disney Corporation announced a brand new CEO, Josh D'Amaro. And Josh came from Disney Parks, a huge business center under the Walt Disney Company. And he talks about the emotional side of Disney, again, to make people happy, feelings happy. And he said basically it's essential for us as a business to get that right, the emotional side of it, creating emotional connections with our guests through Disney storytelling and experience to make people happy. I think that's a very profound way to look at the legacy brand that Josh just got appointed to run. Hopefully, Josh will be able to do that in a new way to help the betterment of humanity in America and abroad, as well as his company and team members and their family of businesses. The same strategies work for you. You have the opportunity to live your purpose in a bigger way. It helps make decisions more clearer and speeds it up. It establishes a great culture for your organization. It allows the team to take ownership. One of my clients, I was able to help their individual team members figure out their purpose And then we had a surprise for the CEO where they were able to pitch and present their ideas of how they could bring their purpose to help build the company's mission in a bigger way. Imagine the opportunity for you and your company to be able to do the same thing. That's what Purpose of You does. It builds communities of shared purpose for individuals. So I want to end with a few little takeaways. What is your purpose? If you had to define it today, how would you define it? I believe your life has a purpose, but that doesn't matter. What do you believe? And do you believe your life has a purpose? How would you define it? And I invite you to take a deeper dive at purposeofyou.com to help discover your purpose. If you're a business owner, business leader, and you want strategies to help bring purpose of you to your company, you can reach out on purposeofyou.com and schedule a free one-on-one talk with me, and we'll help put a building block of strategy together. If you are an employee at a company and you want to help build and understand your purpose, you can ask for it at work, or you can go to purposeofyou.com and enroll in my masterclass and coaching services. Purpose is practical. It is very, very strategic, and it helps build teams and cultures in a life that guides you to your dreams. I want to thank you for being a part of Live on Purpose this month. Please join us next month, the first Wednesday of the month, March 4th, 2026. We always do it at noon Eastern. It's a great way to spend lunch, or if you're on the West Coast, a light coffee. But this is an opportunity for you to build your life in a bigger way. I want to thank you for joining us. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on all social media. Thank you for joining us. Let's build this year together on purpose. Let's do it together. Thanks for watching.